All right. Here we are at the humble abode. I assume that we're going to go. There we go. We're live. We got the damn chicken. Go. Go, chicken. Go, chicken. Because I brought the chicken because I'm not talking to you. I'm going to do the show on my own. I'm going to do the show on my own. I'll talk to the chicken. Why chicken? Why do people go out of their way to railroad everything that I try to make successful in my life?
Is it Morse code?
I don't know, man.
People railroad things.
I go out of my way to make things work, and then they get railroaded.
What does
That's
that
going to
mean?
be
What
the
the
addition.
hell did I do?
Chicken, did you hear something?
What is
Because
that
I don't hear anybody in here other than me and
man.
chicken.
It's been like 2 weeks, man.
I know.
A text message or some kind of explanation. I don't understand the railroading thing. What? That I'm actually making the calls and doing the things that we need to keep this thing moving? Well, I don't know where you're at. I don't know what you're doing.
I'm
don't
making
even
moves.
text me back.
I'm
like,
making
you
moves.
could at least text me back like, hey, I'm making moves.
Making moves, making moves, making $1 million moves.
Yeah, walk in, you got all kinds of shit to tell me, and this weird look on you like I did something fucking wrong.
Well, no.
And then I'm like, no, wait till the show starts, because I think they deserve an answer, too. Like, these 4 imbeciles have been watching the show and listening. They're excited about WNCW.
I've been instructed by the powers that be that maybe it's best to keep you and I's conversation during the week to a minimum and then just be on the show. The powers that be, which is the name of a new WNCW tag team. It's not really.
Yeah, it must be all it is. Because, I mean, if there was powers that be, you'd think.
Here's the deal,
You'd
bro.
think my bank account would reflect that, but there's still no money, and it hasn't changed.
I've
been checking it. There's actually less money every day.
You are a destructive person, and every time something starts going right, you, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, you need to go out of your way to destroy it.
What in the hell did I do to destroy this? Keep it moving while you're on vacation?
No, you think it's vacation. You see, they think because you're flying all over the place and going and seeing and meeting and different people and talking that you're just on a vacation. But that's work. That's work for me. That's my third side hustle now. This is right on the brink. 2 weeks ago, we were celebrating. And then, of course, the people that we're doing business with, they go back and they listen to some comments that you've made on the show. And
I didn't say nothing bad about them.
No, but you're using inappropriate language. You're using
What does that fucking mean? We could say fuck, I thought.
Yeah, but there's certain words and phrases in the popular nomenclature that we just can't use. The N-word, for example, which is exactly what was cited. We can't say the N-word, bruh. We can even say the F word and the B word and the Q word. Can't say the N word.
What's the Q word? Queer? Can you say faggot?
Yeah, that's the F word, but we really shouldn't say that either. Because we have, from what we found out at the taping last week, we've got one of those Q words on the roster, which we wouldn't have known about, but he's in now, and I think he's quite the performer, so we're going to leave him in there.
Of course he's quite the performer. He's a faggot.
Look, all I'm going to say is I know I've actually got a bunch of...
I don't understand, though, if you're being serious or not. You didn't talk to me for 2 weeks because I said nigga.
All right, that's for real.
No, fuck those people.
No.
I'm being serious. It gets to a point where it's got to be taken in context.
It is, and the context is let's just not use it anymore.
Why? Why succumb to the pressure of these people with motives that are other than?
Do you see this? Do you see this thing that this gesture I'm making?
Trying to bring people together.
Yeah, we're trying
use
to
humor and openness to quell tensions. And just
that's
be a
the Q word,
person.
Quell. We can't say quell anymore.
Fuck.
But look, all I'm saying is,
serious
of course I'm being serious. Why do you think I didn't talk to you for 2 weeks and I wanted to do it here?
Because I don't know. Maybe like, hey, heads up.
Hey, heads up, what?
I don't know. Don't say it.
Oh,
I don't
well,
know.
I'm saying I wanted to have the discussion on the air because that's where we have
This is
discussions.
dumb. That's
There's no
not-
reason
you're
for
full
you
of
and I
shit. You all. I know you weren't at the beach. You'd be burned.
Yeah. So anyway, we just need to do a quick because it's crazy, man. Because I've been
So
getting,
is the deal off or?
No, the deal is not off, but you've put us in a situation.
Fucking holding tank?
Pretty much, you've put us in a situation that we shouldn't be in, but I don't think it's something that we can't climb out of. See, you just
No,
see,
it's because people are
you
fucking
can't even listen.
racist.
You
So
can't even-
I can't because people are racist and I gotta fucking hold the brunt of their racism.
I don't
Like,
think
that's
you
fucking
used any
ridiculous.
of those words correctly just now.
Whatever.
You don't hold the brunt
Oh,
of
I
any
can't use
racism.
one word properly, I guess.
Look, here's all I'm saying.
I hope
We
that compressor's
continued-
working
we
because I'm
did-
yelling.
We did
You
take
got me. This is just dumb.
we did take off this Monday in observance of
Yeah,
Memorial Day.
Thanks for letting me know.
And well, in observance of Memorial Day, but we did tape week and a half ago, and it was our best of the 3 tapings so far. And I sent some clips to the Nashville Investment Group.
You can't even
which
say
would
the
they-
acronym
Well,
anymore.
because I can say it.
Say it.
NIG with
Which
periods.
How would you say it without periods?
Egg. That's how I would say
This
it.
is ridiculous.
I'm just look.
What are they gonna do? Rewrite our script for us too for
Look.
the wrestling? Like I thought we had.
If
I
their
thought we could do
script,
that. We're doing a monument match.
let me tell you a little secret. If
it's
that
censorship.
if their script comes along with that check, yeah, we're gonna do whatever they want us
So
to
the
do.
only way for us to make money is me not to say a word that I feel I should be able to use in any way possible because it's used by tons of other people and tons of different and taken in context. If I was saying something racist, I would understand. Yes. I don't know. No, I wouldn't even understand because sometimes racism's funny because it's dumb. It shows ignorance. Ignorant shit is funny.
Well, let's be
But
clear.
anyway,
With
it just puts
WNCW, we're not trying to do anything clever or funny.
Anymore. We got to go ask Nick if it's okay.
We are. We're okay. Look,
I got to say, I like the way these hats look, and I got to goddamn censor my
this is-
creativity and
This
my
is the
language.
wannabes.
Yeah.
This is a whole different thing. But look, I just want to give an update, and I just want to move on. Okay.
What's the update?
So-
we don't know what the update is. We don't know what the update is.
The update is maybe I got a little check in the mail. Right? I wanted to surprise you. See,
Maybe I should say it more.
Yeah, because then the checks come.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that little $5 that came in the mail for you and I filling out the thing. We're talking about a nice nest egg for us to rest our laurels on while we're being creative. So let's just
being
move.
creative and censored.
The first thing, look, can we focus on the positive because things are still good. I'm out there groveling on my off time, trying to make them understand that I need you and Nig needs you to, you're the brains behind at least 50% of this operation.
51.
That's fine if you want to
You're
be
taking
51.
my extra 1% away.
Yeah, good.
My
You want
word.
that 1% that when Lucha Libra doesn't wake up from his coma, you can have 51% of the burden to deal with on that.
Well, I
I'm
guess
still working that
What
angle
about
too.
when Spicarelli comes in, wrestles his first match?
I'm
I guess we got to change that.
No, because that's funny, man. Spicarelli is just one of the greatest names of all time. Think about it.
Then what if we
He's
have
not
one-
even Spanish. He's
We
Bulgarian.
rename Big Money Malone like Niggalicious.
I mean, we'll just stop now.
Oh, we can do
if you just need
Spicarelli,
to-
but you can't do Niggalicious.
if we're just gonna, we could just stop now.
Yeah, let's just
I'll just
stop.
sit in.
I don't want them people sitting there telling us what we can and can't do.
They love what we're doing.
It just turned into every other watered down bullshit
No.
that people are
You
not
see,
entertained by.
What you are right now.
It's fighting for freedom
No,
and censorship.
no. What you're being, what we call in the business, an idiot right now. Okay, because what you're one of these you're one of these right wing fools that when they say, two men want to get married, and then you go, oh, what's next? A bridge is gonna marry a taco. It's like, no. That's not it. It's just these two dudes want to get married. No bridge wants to marry a taco. Okay? So just
What about a dolphin?
You know what? As long as you're having a sexual relationship with that dolphin, I feel you should be allowed to marry it.
Yeah, as long as the dolphin's
so that's
not
what I'm
swimming
saying.
away.
They're not asking us to reinvent the
Can't
wheel.
put it in a pool and fuck it, but if you fuck it in the ocean, like the dolphin could easily swim away if it's not digging it, right?
Well, what I'm thinking is what's a better lubricant, salt water or chlorinated water? That's a very good thing I've never thought of.
Test it out. Let me know.
You ever had that? Have you ever tried to have sex in a pool?
Yeah, I don't like all that. Yeah, no.
What about in the ocean? Have you done sex in the ocean?
I don't think successfully.
Right? There's something about the lubrication factor
I
and
think
all that. It doesn't.
Water itself is a bad lubricant.
Interesting. I'm going to write that down because we're going to have to.
I don't think you need to worry about both things will be in the sun, and you can't have sex in the sun.
You're right about that. All right, so here's the.
I don't even know how to continue on though. It's
here's
like,
it
okay.
just
Feels weird.
I'm going to
now.
tell you how
It's
to.
dumb.
I'm going to tell you how to continue on. I'm going to give the update, and then we're going to move on. We're just going to do it.
That's fun.
WNCW. The pain is real. You usually say the pain is real.
Whatever.
That's our new tagline. WNCW. Whatever. So
Afraid to say anything at this point.
We did. No, please don't do this. Don't railroad this thing like you do everything else.
I don't understand how I railroaded anything.
You didn't.
I know what railroading is.
You didn't. You got to be able to. You know what's wrong with you? You
Yeah,
can't
please tell
take.
me.
You can't take criticism. You cannot accept
not
criticism.
with things that I create on the top of my head. I'm creating it. It's funny to me. I don't need somebody else's approval to tell me if something's funny or entertaining.
All right, let's look at the notes. Let's look at the notes and see what we got.
Probably not entertaining.
WNCW current status is yellow to green, which means it's positive. I'm just letting you know that we're okay. They want to see the next week's tapes.
I want to see my bank account change.
I'm just telling you that. I'm telling you, we got the first installment. It's not what we were hoping for, but they did want to. It's like an olive branch. They reached out with an olive branch. I reached back with a hand and grabbed it, and then I got it and assigned.
Ran for my life.
Yeah, I ran from it. So we did tape last Monday, and I got to say, the guys came through with flying colors. It was the best taping yet.
It was pretty intense.
It was intense.
As far as like a real wrestling show, I mean, nothing we ever did came close to this.
I can't believe we're doing
from
it.
what the third taping, I'm like, wow, we're putting on. Before it was just, hey, set some cameras up. It's going to be chaos and somebody's going to get hurt, which, thanks to you, was successful. I love how I say fucking nigga and the whole deal goes to shit. You don't put bolts and fucking put a man in the hospital and that's okay. That's professionalism. You're not railroading things because you have to actually drive spikes into things.
That's on me. That's on me, and I'm handling that. Lucha Libra we now have 2 thumbs up from Lucha Libra. Originally, it was 1 thumbs up. What we know is he is definitely going to make a full recovery, and he's actually, I mean, look at the way this damn thing turned out. Bruh. Man, I got to tell you, see, this is why I need you. This is why I need you for stuff like this. This is amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lucha Libra official T-shirt, whose proceeds will go to a place.
Yeah, hopefully my bank account.
Yeah, get online and order that thing, Lucha Libra. So I guess we can release the word that he's actually going to make a full recovery.
That's what they're saying.
He has
some good news.
He's pressed upon us this is insane. This goes to show you the level of dedication and intensity of this guy. I was thinking that there was going to be a lawsuit or something. This guy said, "Put me on the Stars and Straps match."
It's called poverty, Cheese.
No, he's rolling in lemon cake and gallons of water.
And that might be about it.
Yeah. So our July 4th Stars and Straps match, we can make a huge announcement. Huge announcement. Lucha Libra will be making his return that night.
If everything goes okay. Jeez, you can't book the guy. He ain't even out the bed yet.
No, he's the one, but he's still got over a month.
Dude, they're saying he might not even be, like, fully coherent.
We're going to give him the cryogenic chamber. We're giving him the steroids. Obviously, he's never going off of them.
Poor guy.
He's going to make it back.
All right, whatever.
Should we announce who he's wrestling?
Might as well.
All right. So here we go. At the big July 4th Stars and Straps match, Junkyard Frog. Woo!
That's a good match.
Baby?
If he's back to what he was. Like, man.
It doesn't, who, Junkyard Frog?
No, Lucha Libra. He's laying in a bed. Jeez.
Yeah, I understand that, but he's got over a month to recover, and we're pumping him full of the
He was in a coma
steroids.
for like 3 weeks.
Look, let's just lay it out on a table. These guys, they live and breathe on painkillers
They have nothing else, yeah.
and vodka. So
They're addicts.
he's gonna be able to make it.
I hope so.
So I'm really looking forward to that. Let's go back. Look, you're making me jump all around. Let's go back to last Monday's taping. We had a couple of good matches. I just want to announce some of the new. I like giving a little bit of run to the new guys. So we had a match with one of our new guys, the Bone Smuggler.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, that was weird.
And he went up against OPP.
Yeah, right.
Man, wow. You want to talk about a 360 right at the end. You would not take the Bone, like, from outward appearance, you would not think that the Bone Smuggler was a homosexual, but
No,
it's like
he's
he
like a
made
man's man.
Yeah, but he get the name right. He was teasing us. He didn't tell us what the name.
Well, I didn't really get it at first.
Yeah,
Because I thought maybe he comes out, he's got kind of like the skull head on him, so I'm thinking, all
Yeah.
right, maybe the Bone Smuggler, like some kind of grave robber or something,
yeah,
right?
he
Like an
grabs-
Undertaker thing.
He goes get bones from one place, brings them to another.
Yeah, something. I know.
but no.
It's dumb now, I know. But
Little
at the
did
time,
we
there's so
know,
much happening.
It's a whole penis in the butt thing. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
He's homosexual.
Yeah. Which, look, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, right?
But OPP didn't like to be kissed. I
Oh,
think
he
it was,
didn't.
I think it was because it was in front of people. If he was in Orleans Parish Prison,
Yeah.
your boy could have probably, Bone
Well,
Smuggler
he's
could
probably
have
been
probably.
kissed before.
Right, but not in front of people, not in prison. If it's in prison, I don't think it's gay.
So I got it. We had Bone Smuggler on as a flyer. If you remember, we didn't see him, his tape or his audition. We had a reference and we gave him a match.
Yeah.
What I'm wondering is that a normal finisher? The whole makeout thing and take him by surprise and then hit him with the thing? Or
It came out of nowhere.
it did.
Like
it
the
did. There's
wrestling,
no way
the
he can
match
rely
is
on
normal. It's kind of boring. I'm like, this is kind of, and the next thing you know, man, I think
Yeah.
he went for tongue.
that. Yeah, well, and that's what happened was OPP was so like
Opie.
he was taken back. Opie was so taken back that he hit him with the other finisher, and that's it. He hit him with that hot vodka, which now I know is Bone Smuggler's finisher move, hot vodka. That's a great name for a finisher.
You think so?
Yeah, I talked to him after the match, and he was like, well, that's what it takes to get the boys loosened up. It's some hot vodka. You give them a couple shots of hot vodka,
Should
and
have
all
did
of a
the
sudden,
move first and then went in for the kiss.
yeah. Yeah, because he
OPP,
didn't get to
I
finish
don't-
off.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. It was kind of odd. Maybe it was slightly uncomfortable.
So he did win. So we now have the Bone Smuggler, who's another guy on the roster that, it's just
Yeah, I
pro
seen you
after
go
pro.
get the contract. Like before the kiss, you were impressed by him.
Yeah, well,
man,
the guy's
once the kiss happened, you're like, contract, we get this guy's ours. We're getting this
Yeah,
guy. We don't have
right?
to change nothing. I love his finishing move.
Yeah.
I love his name.
yeah.
And then when he went to kiss the man, I was like,
Hot vodka is, and that's what they, because that's what I'm thinking now is we're going to have to, as the people are coming into the next taping, we're going to have to let them know that, because if you remember, Daniel Bryant did the yes, 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 and then Bone Smuggler, his thing is more like this, hot vodka.
Two at one
hot
time.
vodka. Yeah, he's like doing a pterodactyl type thing.
He'll
Yeah.
fight a tag team all by himself.
Yeah. Well, actually, he can take three. Think about it. One in each hand and one in the face.
I'm glad you
right?
thought about
They
it.
call that the pterodactyl.
Gotcha.
Like that. That's so. Look. You got to remember, we're working. I'm working behind the scenes with these guys on their
Right.
promos and their moves and stuff. So they're only going to get better. Now, the other match. I got to say, I hate to. You know what? I don't hate to tell you I told you so, but I told you so. Baboon. Is he not carrying the load of the big money guy like I told you he would?
Oh, right now, I
Say
would
it
say,
that go ahead and
if
say
we
I'm
were-
right.
If we were just gonna give the belt to somebody, and not have the Stars and Straps match for
Yeah.
it, I would give it to him. He's
Baboon.
doing everything. He's got the personality. He comes out with that, man, it's just a presence.
This guy's
Remember,
everything.
like back in the day, Goldberg, he wasn't a great wrestler. He was shitty on the mic, but something about that that entrance.
Where they hit him with the flames and he sucked in the smoke. But
That's how I
Baboon,
could see Baboon. He just comes with the intensity. He's like mixture between Goldberg and Ultimate Warrior.
yes, and he's and then he's also the Tom Brady of WNCW. He's the first to show up. He's the last to leave. He's putting the ring together. He's sweeping up. He's selling popcorn. He's doing everything we needed him to do. Baboon.
Only one problem. He doesn't know when to stop, and he pisses himself.
Yeah, and that is it. I still can't even figure out how he does that every single time.
Did you talk to him about it or anything?
Yeah, I did, and he's keeping it like big time under wraps. He's got some type of secret. I think he's eating some type of pill or something that makes him pee. But that's okay.
What if he can't control it? He's very hush hush about it. I kind of inquired. I didn't come out and ask him. Well, I'm deathly afraid of the fucking guy. But I kind of like worked the way into it, and he had an odd way of getting out the conversation. It was like, this don't make sense. I could tell he did not feel comfortable to talk about it.
It's obviously some type of secret. I think it's a Whizzinator or some type of pocket peer or whatever.
Smells real.
I don't care. God, does this smell real?
Dude, he went fucking nuts.
Well, he did, and that's what I think we getting off the real topic that the locker room had to clear to get him off of Dirk McGirt.
I run back there. I'm like, hey, we need help.
We need help.
It went.
He was. I thought he was going to kill Dirk McGirt.
Oh, me too.
I thought
Dirk McGirt was dead.
Man,
I'm like, we're gonna have to fucking run a wing of the hospital.
Yeah, but I got to admit that I did. When Baboon was really going in on him, part of me did say, just kill him. Because a dead guy can't sue you, right? Like
I don't think he has no family, anything.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, man, if you're gonna debilitate this guy, just kill
dump him outside with his heroin needles.
No, we'll give him a proper. We'll call a truck to come scoop him up.
I was just happy we were gonna get out of something for a change.
Scoop him up with a skid loader. I mean, we'll call something.
These are
proper.
people's lives.
Yeah. Well, I understand that, but at a certain point, you got to make a decision and move on. Right. And at that point in time, whether I was right or wrong, I was just hoping for death. And it turns out it was good. You went in the back. You cleared the locker room.
It was cool, too. What a great ending. Dude, to have the whole locker. It looked like we staged it. Like the whole locker room is out there pulling him on. Baboon.
And we do stage everything, but this one was not. It looked like we planned it.
They're bitching because the dude's full of piss. Nobody wants to go grab him.
Yeah, and it's like, do you want to touch some pee, or do you want to load a dead guy into the back of a truck?
Yeah, and OPP was still pissed off about the kiss.
Yeah,
so I'm like, this is only going to escalate. This is going to look like Tigerland.
Yeah, so he didn't even help us out, but we did. I'm actually going to try to get a little excerpt of last week's taping because we're compiling a whole season's worth. But I kind of want to let out a little bit here.
I thought we couldn't do that.
Yeah, they gave me the okay to let out.
Why don't we just get rid of them and we could do whatever we want and I could say whatever I want and not have to worry about that.
Well, look, we can say whatever we want. We just need to work with people a little bit. Who knows? Maybe they just feeling like they want some input, so they're giving us a little input. Right. We take it to heart, and then we just keep doing what we're doing. And in the long run, we're still an organization that has guys that pee on each other. I mean, that's what you know what I mean?
Just one guy. You make it sound like they're all doing it.
Well, I'm just saying.
If one more start to do it, no, we gotta make rules.
Nowadays, you got to worry about the LBGTQ and all the other letter communities.
Hey, I don't care what your sexual preference is. Peeing on each other is a totally different thing.
I mean, I don't necessarily agree or disagree.
Thing.
Have you ever done a golden shower? Have you ever given or received a golden shower?
No.
Why not?
I have peed on my own foot
as like a medical thing from a jellyfish thing?
Yeah, you'd think like on the ankle there. I was like, let me see if this works. I did do it in the shower.
Well, everybody pees in the shower.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Why get out? It's all going to the same place.
I think I go before. I'm just in the habit of going before. It hasn't happened that much.
Like how often do you pee in the shower?
Yeah, no, not often at all.
You don't ever pee in the shower?
Just in the habit of peeing first.
It goes to the same place.
I picked up these habits as I was like becoming an adult, and man, they got rock solid, and I just do a lot of things naturally, like hold my dick when I pee. That's the weirdest thing you don't do, but
Wait.
It's just a habit that you get into.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, but I'm saying, like, there's nothing wrong with peeing in the shower. It's going right to the same place.
I'm with you.
Like, they literally, the plumbing is hooked up 5 feet from each other, and they go to the same place. And actually, you get hot water backwashing it through the pee trap, so it might even be more.
You been peed on?
No,
really?
I haven't. I was hoping you were going to say yes, because I don't have any good stories about that.
Yeah, me neither. I'm pretty lame when it comes to.
I'm actually not even looking for it. Like, if
I will
tell you this. I'm not saying no. It's not an across the board no, but it would, it'd have to be the right situation.
Like a sting or a jellyfish sting or something.
Yeah,
medical reasons you would do it.
Or just like,
I ain't never happened to do it.
Sexual trickery or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just keep it out of my eyes.
You get squirted on.
Eat some pineapple before.
Oh.
I heard eating like fruit changes the texture and the taste.
I would assume so.
Yeah. So
sex has always been like drugs to me. You gotta watch
you just
how
do them
far,
as often as possible.
Yeah, and then you watch how far you go. Like I start thinking, like I don't think this weird sexual deviant person that exists out there, they weren't that probably day one. They worked their way up to that. Next thing you know, you're getting fucking choked out while you're trying to bust a nut. And it's like, I think it gets to that point. So if you just, I've always been a little reserved. Like, I don't want to go too big. And then fucking that's what you need to do to get off. Like, your life could be miserable.
Yeah, like what was that?
God, you got to do that much drugs or you got to do that weird shit
wasn't that Cain
to get off?
That walked the earth? Who was that guy?
We're going to Bible verse. 12,900 years ago, Cain planted a seed and he grew a force tree and the spaghetti monster came in and ripped it down.
The dude that played Cain or whoever the guy was that was walking the earth.
Oh, yeah, right. Kung Fu.
Brian Dennehy or whoever the hell it was.
That's the same thing Chris Cornell did.
They caught him. Oh.
I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. Go ahead.
No. It's okay.
They did. They found him in a hotel room.
Like choked and I think he had a camera on him, didn't he? He was like recording himself doing it.
I don't know. For evidence.
But it's funny that you did bring up. Should we hold on. Let me check the notes and make sure we've oh man. You know what? We'll bring the match of the week back next week on this.
Oh, come on, let's do it now.
All right. So
what was it?
We did. Not all of our ideas are original. We take
so many
influence.
Ideas.
We take influence from other places. So what we tried to start doing was doing a match of the week, which would give the guys the incentive to go above and beyond.
Well, I think we don't have the titles decided yet, so we had to figure out something to overhype a match.
Yeah, right.
We don't have a title match. We're not going to make 15 belts so that everybody can be some kind of champion.
Yeah, we're not millennials.
Right.
Like this is not. It's not going to happen.
One
like
belt.
That. Yeah, one belt. Everybody's going for, but we do a match of the week. And this week it was Big Money Malone and the Mad Hater.
Yeah.
Oh, man, what a match.
That was pretty fun.
What a match.
I like the Mad Hater guy. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, but really all he does is just talk shit on people. Like, he's a hater. Like, that's what he's...
Is it an act?
Well, I think he's trying to... You remember the Dave Chappelle skit? With the Haters Union.
Oh, no.
I gotta go back and fill Big Daddy's mama's bowl's dish or whatever that is. Like it's just
but I'll check it out.
Yeah, like it's the Haters convention. I think he kind of took it from that, and so that's what he is. He's just a hater.
He's believable though.
He's got the pimp cane and the pimp hat.
He doesn't break character.
No, he's just always hating. But he did, unfortunately, have to go up against Big Money Malone.
He had complaints about being match of the week. I was like, dude, how do you should be honored.
Because that's what he's just hating on everything.
Right.
But the beautiful thing about this match, and the reason that I personally wanted to give it match of the week was they followed every WNCW rule to the T and went above and beyond. Both of them were bleeding in the locker room before they even left the door.
Yeah, Matt Hater, he hates bleeding.
Oh, my God, he hates it.
Know that 100 times.
Right? He hates it, but he did it.
Oh,
but
yeah,
he did
that's what counts. If he didn't do anything he hated, he would never do anything.
We gave it the match of the week because every move that's outlawed by all the major corporations, they did it. The pile driver, the 1-2 skidoo, they did it all.
Blood.
Blood. Man, you almost couldn't see the mat. You almost couldn't see the mat.
Dude, they're all going to look like your boy's head. You ever
Sabu?
all of them. They got a couple of them from ECW.
No,
all them guys.
If you didn't notice, he wasn't bleeding from his head. He cut the
New
back of
Jack's
his ear.
head
He cut the back of his ear.
That's still repeated times.
Well, it was
not
flipping.
that I care.
Like the ear
oh,
was
come
flipping.
on, it wasn't that bad.
It was flipping a
lot
little
of
bit.
blood.
Yeah. Apparently,
The ring's fucking destroyed already. Are we gonna replace that, or are we just gonna let it get?
to be honest with you, I think it
destroyed.
adds to the. I think it adds to it that when people are walking in, there's this bloodstained mat. Like I kind of like it.
Get past disease.
It's so bad. It's got flies. You saw the flies?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's
my
disgusting.
God,
It
the
didn't
flies.
dry out from last time because we like folded it all up, dude. When they opened it up, I had to walk out. I'm
Yeah,
like, man, this ain't worth $25. These guys will do anything.
I got confirmation from a person in the medical field that they can't. Nothing could be contracted after it's on the mat. So. I think we're
It
okay.
dries
Just-
up. But it ain't drying. It's still wet. I can't imagine this.
Because we're folding it up, and there's still moisture in there, and it's not
Right, but it's
So-
too big. Where could we possibly lay this thing out? I don't know.
No. I'm saying I like
More
it.
problems.
Yeah, more money, more problems.
As long as I don't got to touch it, I don't care.
You don't have to.
No.
All right. So one thing that we are doing before we get off WNCW is which you and I were trying to think of. I don't mind talking this out on the air. We're trying to get the right people for the Monument match. It's a 6-man match, and the Monument is suspended above the ring, and it's not going to be a typical ladders match. A typical match of that fashion would be tables, ladders, and chairs. And you and I have come up with something different. We've got the scaffolding, scissor lift and ramp match. So scaffolding, so there will be scaffolding, a scissor lift, and a ramp. So you have a couple of ways to get up there. You can either assemble all of the pieces of the scaffolding.
I can't see that one
and scale
happening.
it, or you can set the ramp up and drive the scissor lift up, and then extend up, and then bring it down, and then drive it down and get
I
to
can
the fence.
see the two guys fighting each other to try to get in this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
I don't know. The only concern I have about it is the audience. I guess this is supposed to be a big pay-per-view. I thought we were going to up it. Like, there's not going to be enough room in there. Maybe we'll have to
no,
do no audience.
No, the scissor lift is a 4x2 scissor lift. It's small. It's like one of the ones we're renting it from Home Depot. I was gonna say it's like one of the ones
from
from
raise it up, geez, it's that tall. It falls. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's that big,
No.
compressed. When you raise it up, and if the thing gets knocked over, it's going right into the fans.
I mean, they signed a waiver too. They signed a waiver too.
I know. Oh well, I could give a shit.
Well, you see now you don't give a shit.
I don't.
You want the check,
Hey.
but you don't give a shit.
Yeah, right.
I'm
Check
just
ain't gonna
saying.
come.
Scissor lift up, Monument,
Yeah.
back behind the cage, lock it. We're good to go. So I'm thinking, obviously, I don't think Baboon can be part of this match because he's a little bit too big to be in that.
I think if you have, he's in a title fight that night, right?
Of course.
And
Of
then we
course.
got a Lucha Libra and Junkyard Frog.
Yep,
They
they're gonna
got
be
their big return
their
match.
match. So I'm thinking.
And then we got a tag team match. And we got a couple of matches.
Yeah.
I think if you're involved in another match, this should be what we do with everybody else kind of thing.
You know what I think we should do on the Wine and Cheese page, and we'll do this tonight or tomorrow. We'll give a list of the 12 to 15 possible participants,
Yeah.
and how about we let the fans vote on it?
I mean, do we want to
Pick
go
6.
1 versus 1? Do we want to
No,
do
no,
like
no. This
4
is a
guys?
6-man. It's 6-man.
6 people.
6 people all starting at one time. Nothing in the ring. Ring is surrounded by scaffolding, sizzle lips, and ramps, and it's a fight to get the monument down. And
Yeah.
remember, it's not over until you got it behind the fence, out in the yard behind the arena.
Yeah, Steaming Billy Freeman. I think he's
Yeah.
pretty racist. That would be pretty good to have him in. We need
Yeah.
some of the racist people because they're going to get into it.
Yeah, they will.
You know what
They
I'm saying?
will. This is
We
yeah.
definitely need racist people involved.
This match knows no colors, knows no bounds. You know what I mean? This is a serious deal.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to break a little news right here. I got the confirmation we're getting the miniature Harry Lee statue.
Oh, you kidding me?
Right?
That's going to be great.
Right? Because I was thinking Robert E. Lee, but then I couldn't find anybody to make one, so I just went to the next best thing. Is Harry Lee.
It was
Harry
cheaper.
Lee. Right? So we got a little
funny.
mini Asian sheriff with the
Looks
cowboy
like a
hat.
Buddha with a cowboy hat.
He does, right? So that's going to be
That's gonna
suspended
funny.
above
Good job.
there.
You have been doing something for 2
Yeah,
weeks.
no, I have been.
Not talking to me.
So that's where we're at. Big Stars and Straps match. The night coming up. It's our first pay-per-view. What we're trying to work out now is, because look, I will steal ideas. What I saw is that the Wildcat Wrestling guys, they're streaming their TV show on Vimeo or something now. Did you see that?
Yeah, we're definitely not doing that. We're going straight
no, I
to
wanted
YouTube.
to do the. Okay, well, wherever I think
YouTube's
we're
way
gonna try
better.
to stream these matches that night.
Oh,
And
no way, dude. You're crazy.
You don't think?
No.
No, but I'm saying, like, I think we set it up where you got to pay like some money to get the ability to stream it, and we make a few $100,000 that
I
night.
thought we couldn't do that. The deal's not happening, right? Just tell me
no,
that so
the
I can
deal
move
is
on
no,
from
the
it.
deal is happening.
But part of the deal was us not releasing this stuff, and now
yeah, but the pay-per-views are something separate than the.
I'm
tapings.
okay with just going. Let's get rid of the investors and
No,
just do what we
I'm
want
telling
to
you,
do.
that's what
Like
you-
I think we could fund this from the audience itself.
As many times as I tell you this,
I
you just
know.
don't. So the pay-per-views. Look, I'm working the deal for us. The pay-per-views are ours, and the TV show is what they're buying. They're buying the regular TV show that'll be on every week. The pay-per-views are still ours. We could do whatever we want. We could steal monuments, beat
You're
up
giving me
Harry
that-
Lee, do whatever
your
we
word
want.
on that.
Yeah, well, I said it.
Right. Like I'm asking for your word, like that would mean something.
Yeah, so that's the deal on WNCW. So
The pain is real.
The pain is real. Let's lay that to bed for right now, and let's discuss some other things. But we're working on it behind the scenes. So here's the first thing I want to talk about. You seen this Kathy Griffin thing with this Donald Trump severed head?
Can you answer me a question?
Of
first?
course,
Tell
yes.
me, who is that? Who's Kathy Griffin?
Kathy Griffin is she's what I'd call her a comedian.
Women are not funny.
Or a comedian.
All right.
Women are absolutely not funny.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
So it's a woman trying to be funny.
It's a woman that tries to be funny, and she's got red hair and a jacked up face and body, bunch of work done, and always Photoshop face. And she's had television shows. She's been this chick that gets on and tells stories about famous people. Apparently, she did something where she took a picture where she had Donald Trump's head severed and all the blood all over
Like a
his face.
Photoshop piece?
I think obviously it was photo. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
understand.
All
I don't
know
know.
is,
Is a mannequin head?
did
What
you?
was it?
Oh wait, did you see it?
No, but I heard that she was apologizing.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, I'll show you the picture.
Man,
You don't need to see it.
You don't know? You
Well-
don't know if it's a mannequin head?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna assume that it wasn't Donald Trump's actual head.
I know, but
Like-
she could have a mask on a head, a dummy head, and take a picture with that, or she could Photoshop another image.
Well,
on top
I'm
of
sure she's not photoshopping anything because she's not that good. But look, you're the graphic guy. Tell me if this is real or if this is fake, or you know what I saw when you zoomed in on it, you could see the little lines around.
That ain't Donald Trump, man. It's Alec Baldwin dressed up like Donald Trump. I know that woman. Oh, God, yeah.
Right?
She looks like Joan Rivers' abortion.
So that's so funny that you say that because I was
she's
about
just
to say,
replacing that. Let's take an ugly woman that criticizes people.
yeah, she's
I
a
don't
low
like her.
rent. She's a low rent version
I
of
don't
Joan
think-
Rivers, not talented.
Yeah, I don't like her.
Right? So she did this, which I really don't even
I
understand
only
why she
think
did it.
hot chicks should try to be funny because then when they're trying to be funny, at least you can go, at least they're hot.
Right.
Because they're not funny.
Yeah,
Women
but
just
she's
don't
not-
have the intellect to make humor. Humor actually takes some kind of...
You know I
know,
like
wit.
it. You know there's nothing I like more than disagreeing with you, but in this case I just can't because you're right about that.
Yeah.
They're just not smart enough to be funny.
No.
The only times they ever are funny is by accident.
When they're not trying to.
Yeah. When
It's
they're not
hilarious.
trying to, they're accident. It's
Or you watch
it's
them trying to
amazing.
fix something or like do
Right.
something that it's cute.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a monkey riding a tricycle.
Yeah. I mean,
neat.
they are. I mean, I'll tell you this. They do one hell of a job at dishes and laundry. I'm not going to lie. I mean, they are amazing at that.
I would definitely say, though,
as
a Photoshopper, that might have been a mask or something like that. It's well done.
So
it doesn't look like a complete Photoshop. That was a studio shot. Like, they set up lights, and if I had to guess.
Apparently, it was by some famous photographer who's known for taking provocative
And look,
pictures
she
or
made it
whatever.
on the news. We're talking about her like she's a success.
Yeah, but
I think the president even responded, like, on Twitter, just to
Oh,
hear
yeah.
the fact that Donald Trump's participating in this degenerating
but
society
basically,
is kind of sad.
what
but
his
whatever.
comment was that his 11-year-old son was taking it very
Jesus.
hard.
Right.
Very hard. Totally, grabbing him by the pussy's okay, but that's going over the line.
It's too much.
But
I mean,
see,
it was so shockingly realism,
What I want to get your comment on here is what's happening is since that happened, she's been fired and let go by everybody that she's associated with.
Must be time for her to move on to the independent
Right?
circuit. I don't know.
Something tells me when things
I
like...
know how it is, though. Like, that sucks. Like, that's bullshit.
What's bullshit?
Like that she's getting fired by people. I mean, you know what? That's not bullshit. Because I could totally understand. Kind of like the investment group. If they don't like what I'm saying, I can't say something. It's too sensitive for the masses or whatever.
Yeah.
That's never who I ever wanted to entertain anyway. I don't think they would even get my humor. And if I got to change to just be a fucking read a teleprompter, entertainer, I'll just quit. Because I'm not that good at it. I can't do that. I got to use cheap tricks and use and do things to be entertaining that they can't do because they're trying to appeal to that, 75% of the public. And you know what? She should. She pissed off 50% of the country and she made 50% happy. Like, I don't understand how somebody can fire her or do that when that's the market she's catering to. That's like the Walton and Johnson getting fired because they made racial innuendos. It's like, that's what you hired them for. That's the market you're going after. People think that's funny. So.
You don't think, but you don't think there's part of this what she did is a little bit over the line?
No,
it's
it just
the
puts her in
president
that
of the United
category.
States, man.
So
like
what?
No, well, because I think that office
They've been so difficult.
that office should be taken with some level of respect. Like,
Now,
I
why
don't
don't
care.
they put somebody respectable in it?
Well,
And I'm not talking about just them. I'm going back since I was a child.
No,
Like,
and
come
I
on.
agree with you on that, but I believe that you should treat the office of the president with some respect. And what she did wasn't funny, clever.
I don't watch it, but I can see it keep popping up on the computer. I think they make fun of Donald Trump like every night on Saturday Night Live. Like, this is like a ridiculous thing that they do. And you know what? Other people were making fun of Obama every night.
Not like this. I
No,
don't believe it like it is now.
It just was at different companies.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Company? They got left and right wing companies now that cater to those markets. Like, that's the problem. And it's just the same problem with the race stuff. They just pitting people against each other. Like, that, I don't get it. Like, if she got fired, good for her. Like, at least she got a name everywhere now. She can go get hired by somebody else who maybe stand up. But when you start censoring freedom and what you can and can't say about the president, then that kind of another thing that defeats the whole freedom that you fight for. And
you see,
makes the country great.
I disagree with you on this because I'm not saying that it's illegal, but there's a certain point that you have to stop shocking and doing things that are, quote, legal just to do it. It's just not tasteful and it's not
all right,
clever.
so how about the news stop promoting things that they think is disgusting? Like, no one would ever heard it. Like, how many people realistically even gave a shit that she posted that? Now everybody knows it.
Oh, I totally agree with you
So it's like,
on that part.
that's one of them things.
So,
you gave positive attention to a negative action. Just don't give it no attention like people do our shows.
what I'm saying is nowadays, and it's been like this for a while, I honestly don't know what to believe. Part of me thinks that this thing was all staged and planned ahead of time, and she knew she was going to be fired from these things, so she did, like, it was in conjunction. You know, like I feel like she couldn't have been this smart to do something that got this much attention.
Right. You don't go and do something like that unless you need something
Right?
big.
You're a celebrity.
You're doing
you
it
are.
for attention.
She's been doing the New Year's Rockin' Eve or whatever, like every year since 07, 09. She got fired from that. She got.
And then she get shit-faced and like
you
try
know.
to turn your boy.
Ryan Seacrest, yeah. What was my favorite is that there was this is my favorite part about it. This is the only reason I even knew about this is because on Instagram I follow Squatty Potty. You know what the Squatty Potty is?
No.
You really don't know what the Squatty Potty is?
I'll say yes so we can continue with the story.
The Squatty Potty is this thing that you put underneath your toilet and it picks your feet up to where you're in a proper position to have a full elimination. Well,
Sit
they
like
had
a gargoyle.
Yeah, pretty much. And they had Kathy Griffin on a media thing. Like she was one of their spokespeople, and they got rid of her. Right.
Wow.
The product that is to make you just shit real well. They didn't like Kathy Griffin's deal, and they were appalled.
Head off.
The CEO was like, "Oh, I'm appalled." It's like, well, you sell a shit machine, like.
Yeah.
So you haven't really paid attention to this, and you're okay with what she did, and
yeah, I don't care. Like she made an image. Like, what are you gonna do? Stop all the memes being made about you, or no one can? Like, if that's the way she feels about it, that's what she wants to use in her art. Then if you don't like the art, you just walk by it. Like, it starts getting tricky when you start putting restrictions and regulations on creativity, because what happens is there's people creating positive and negative propaganda all the time. And I always give it to the liberals. They're some of the best and most creative artists out there. The Republican propaganda is good for one thing, usually to get people killed and to make money off of war and oil, and to make you buy shit you absolutely don't need, which both are quite good at. But it's all propaganda, and 90% of it is done to caricaturize, how would you say it, whatever, that fancy word, to make a mockery of somebody so that they look like a joke. And they do it to each other constantly, and the fans of those two teams battle each other in the world of public opinion of their perception of the person in power, and it's just ridiculous. Like,
wouldn't you expect?
I don't participate in that world.
If you were to do something similar, let's say the person that you work for, you photoshopped a picture of you holding their head with wouldn't you expect to be fired?
No.
You wouldn't expect. So you think if
I cut their head off in real life, yes.
No. Just photoshopped it and made it look like it was dead, and you cut their head off and you put it out there and then put it all over social media. You don't think you would deserve to be fired?
No.
Well, you would.
Really?
You would deserve to
shame.
be fired. Yeah. If you worked for me, I would.
Probably would have been your fucking head. Just saying.
I'm just telling you, that's the way I would take it. If you did that, she's an idiot.
Why?
Like, because
I'm not questioning. I just want to know why. Like, what if you didn't like the president? What if that was a president that you didn't like? Would you felt the same way? I don't think you can answer that honestly.
He's the president of the United States. Like, and I don't care if it was a mayor or just my friend. That's just, it was tasteless.
Well, they had that movie where they had George Bush getting shot. Do you remember that?
Senior or
There was
W?
some kind of movie that they made. It was in black and white, low budget movie, and Junior, they had him getting shot in the movie, and that was a big deal then. I don't know, man.
It's
I
all
don't
about
like
context. It's all about context.
Yeah, I just don't like limitations being put on.
I don't
like
see
that. Now, should that be shown everywhere? I bet you how many kids saw that when they turned on the news today at 6 o'clock that would have never seen it and never knew about it.
A ton,
so
right?
Now you're promoting it's okay to put violence on, it's okay to put death, but don't say a fucking word, a trigger word for these fucking sensitive, psychopaths out there. It's like, it's sad, man. That's where I'm like, it's just dumb. Like, they've given it attention, they made it something.
What I think I've realized is that I think there's about 0.02 of the population that is really good at making a stir on the internet, controlling what's going on. I really think 99.8% 1% of people don't care, but there's 0.02 people out there that are really good at making a fuss on the internet, and they make it seem like something's really going on. That's why something happens, and then 2 days later, you forget about it.
It's going.
You heard anybody talk about these monuments lately?
No, it's
over. No, it's over.
Yeah, it's done.
And there was nobody that cared. You want to know what's great is all the news and publications that you hear about Mitch Landrieu from outside of the state. They all think it was great. They think he was eloquent. They thought it was a great thing. It was probably about 100 people in New Orleans just typing away at their keys, and you know what? Now they're on to something else. Now they're talking about the Donald Trump head.
There's a Noam Chomsky book, and it's called Manufacturing Consent, and it means that 9 out of 10 times the things that the government does, you give them consent to do. We ask for shit sometimes.
Yeah.
And David Icke, he, the British dude, he was a soccer player and then a commentator and then left and became a conspiracy theorist. His big thing was problem, reaction, solution. You cause a problem and then you offer the solution and then people ask for it to be put in place. So that's where I'm like, I'm always iffy on when restrictions and shit is put on propaganda, because when you say some people are really good at controlling the propaganda, they dump a lot of money and effort, and then they're also separatist. So you don't see any money being put into things to bring everyone together. It's just things to isolate people and break people apart in little groups so that they know how to market to them and create customers.
And dude, even propaganda has its own propaganda. Think about it. The word propaganda has a negative connotation to it, when really all it is just marketing. That's it. Propaganda can be positive or negative.
They had that movie Branded, and it starts off with...
Wait, what's that movie?
It's called Branded. It's a weird movie, man. It's a kind of low-budget sci-fi. It kind of reminded me of They Live a little bit, just some of the undertones, but done, with today's graphics.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is the hamburger companies get together because they're going out of business. Nobody wants to eat it. They're all eating health food. And they hire this genius, marketing guy. And he comes in and basically says, we need to change people's perception about being fat. We don't have to sell them hamburgers. We have to sell them it's cool to be fat. And let's, That was one thing. And then another thing that they go into in the movie is how Stalin and Russia and propaganda of communism started before capitalism and marketing. Yep. So it was just, they did it as a country, and now the companies do it as individual companies. It's the same process, of controlling people's thoughts and actions and money.
Just go back to any of the World War II stuff that the United States put out. Every poster of a Japanese person had the big teeth.
Big buck teeth.
And they were big buck teeth like that.
Tokyo Kid.
They were there to steal your wife and all that stuff.
They put them in the factories. They make posters.
Right.
Tokyo Kid says, wash up quick and get back to work. or Japs win war. You could go Google this shit. It's like, that's where it's
Rudy the Riveter. We've talked about her before. Rudy the Riveter.
It's okay to demonize and ridicule and make a mockery of people as long as it fits your agenda of what you're trying to get across. It's like, because you're using it to isolate and separate people, and you're using it to stimulate money because you fucking got some kind of nonprofit organization that you started, and you get funding from the government because you're doing good things, when the good things that you're doing is just separating people and causing them to fight. But the government loves that because that's more energized voters to go out there and justify the bullshit that they do on a daily basis.
And I think most importantly, it's misdirection on what actually is at stake.
All right. When it comes to the actual taxes and all this shit.
Right? They get you focused on Kathy Griffin with her dummy head, and meanwhile, they're over here dropping bombs and cutting deals.
Yep.
It's
pretty amazing.
Should we talk about Chris Cornell?
What you want to talk about? I knew who he was. You're proud of him?
It's just, I found that way too many people cared too much about this whole deal.
How can you say that?
Soundgarden was just not that big a deal.
They were huge, man. That was big.
No, I don't. I think they were maybe the 5th or 6th best band of their generation.
And Audio Slave was incredible, too.
Well, they had that one good song. You're right. They had that one
CD.
good song. that came out. But I don't know, man. I just saw a big. I mean, the man killed himself. Is this like a okay? Are we upset? Like, what I want to know is the people that are really hurt by it, do they feel the pain and understand what he did? Like, is that why people are upset about it? Because he did kill himself.
He had a big name, and
Right.
they got to belong to the I'm upset about Chris Cornell
Yeah.
group. Like, it's something that, especially because what you're talking about, I didn't run into many people in my day-to-day activities that were, like, crying or very upset about it.
Yeah.
But according to Facebook, people are traumatized, and it was just that's where I'm like, this just became you get some cheap likes and some attention because people can associate. I liked him too.
I think
was
that's
upset.
exactly you just hit it on the head. It's a cheap way to get some attention and a couple of likes. That's what it is.
You're in
man.
that group now.
Yeah.
You can associate. They're the Saints fans that get on at halftime and tell each other how
When's
good or
the
bad
last
we're doing.
time I would like to go? All the people in the last month that wrote about Chris Cornell, I would like to go back in their entire existence on Facebook and see if the word Chris Cornell was ever written on their timeline or anything ever before.
No,
I guarantee you it wasn't.
Well, it shows you how it works, though, because the news comes on and says, they died. People love death. Like, they love it. And I think they really love it when it's a famous person because there's more people that know them.
Yeah.
It's a very popular thing. Like, man, somebody you don't know dies and you're friends of a friend or whatever, and you're talking and you both knew him, that's what you're going to talk about. But all these people, they identify with these celebrities, man. They think they know them, like they had some kind of bond with them, and it's natural that they're going to talk about it. And then when it starts going, then you have overload. You flood it. In marketing, one of the main things you got to do is you got to flood a market. You can only market, say, a couple of weeks out of the year, but you spend your whole budget and you flood the shit out of it for those weeks, and it might carry on to the next year. But if you just trickle market, it never works.
Yep.
You got to beat things into people. You got to have people, everybody's talking about this. And that's what it does. And then people are naturally going to go, I've scrolled past and seen Chris Cornell's name 46 times in about
shit, I better do a
30
Chris
seconds.
Cornell thing.
That, and I want to go listen to some of his songs because you don't know what you want to listen to. You're constantly taking influences from everywhere as to what is going to occupy your time or what you're interested in. I think that's what amazes me about people the most is they don't understand why they're making the decisions that they are. They don't know that they eat the same fast food restaurant. It just happens that they advertise on the television shows they watch and the radio that they watch. They don't get it. They don't understand why they go to the store, and a lot of these decisions that they made are based off of things that are marketed to them. They don't think marketing works. People think they're smarter than the advertisers.
Oh, that doesn't get me. That don't get me.
People are dumb.
Yes.
Like,
it
honestly,
works.
you don't know shit about psychology or marketing or why you're making the decisions you are. You're just ignorant to that. But if people realize that, maybe you'd handle yourself different. I went and listened to a Chris Cornell song. I really enjoyed his solo work. I thought was cool. It hit me at a really good time in my life, too, where I needed something a little more laid back, kind of adult contemporary, singer-songwriter. He was a troubled human being, which kind of like Marilyn Manson. I can't believe he's still alive. But you
They
listen
just never
to
had the balls to do it.
And when you're going through a moment in your life and you're hearing somebody, you gravitate towards that, and you feel like you're not alone because that person you didn't know was in way more pain than you because they were strung out on some heavy narcotics or whatever. Their issue was.
I'm gonna agree. I do think the guy was a beautiful, super mega talented guy.
Correct.
I really do.
But he was a drug addict.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day,
which I have sympathy for, right? I do, right?
Yeah.
I
It's
do.
not about sympathy. It's about I think this situation could have been used to warn young people and just people in general on excessive drug use and trying to cure depression with chemicals and drugs and the long road of it. Like, that's where I go with the personal responsibility kind of thing, to where, man, you're going to do things in life that aren't right or good for you, but you have to accept the consequences, and it sucks. And it's like, that's why I look at this and I go, man, they could have focused. They focused on depression. I don't think people understand how drugs work. Or maybe they do, and they're dealing with it themselves, and they don't want to admit it, so they're going to blame it on something else. A lot of times, I know there's people who have chemical imbalances, and right as a child, they're depressed, and they have something wrong with the serotonin and dopamine levels in the receptors or whatever the smart talk is. But I think that people don't realize if you start doing drugs at an early age and you have the money and you don't have to go to the job and you're just a creative person who gets to do drugs, and then you're in a successful band. The dude probably wasn't even 21 years old and he was already getting paid. I don't know when he actually got, signed or whatever, but I know he was young. When you're doing excessive drugs, the drugs don't work very much anymore. You're going to have to do more. You have to do stronger. And when you're not high, you're depressed. When you take things to artificially increase your happiness level, the negative reaction is when you come down, you're low. Right?
Yeah.
So you're not depressed. You're either high or sober.
Yeah.
Like, so to make this thing like, oh, you don't understand, this guy was suffering with depression. No, he was suffering with soberness and prolonged drug use.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah,
and that
that's
goes
possible.
for probably Michael Jackson, Prince, but people, they take the news and instead of using it to focus on something that might help people or to help people understand, they don't. They just want to sell fucking CDs, and they want to join the little, I'm upset about this person. He was let's put him up on a fucking monument so that they can take him down later.
Baboon will get him.
Yeah, he'll piss on him.
Well, this is what before we move past that, I just want to ask you one question. Do you think he was happier? Now, this is obviously, there is no right answer because it wasn't alive the next day. But do you think the next morning he was happier being dead than alive?
I don't think when you're dead you have emotions.
I'm saying, do you think?
You think he regretted if he was? I don't know. That's a weird thing.
I've thought about this type of thing in the past just because I've had some personal dealings with it. But do you think? Let's just say he could think about that the next day. You think he's like, sweet, I'm dead. That's over. Or do you think he would regret the decision?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? It's because you'd
I think
like
to
to
do
think,
that, though, you have to come to the realization.
Well, you'd like to think that when you did it, like you'd be happy that because you go, okay, I'm going to do this and it's over. You'd like to think at the very least, you'd have some joy out of it. That great, this thing that I've been trying to get away from, I finally am away from it. I'd hate to think that you would regret that decision.
Because I might sound like when we were talking about it, like, I do respect the guy for being able to do that. That is like your only real freedom.
Right.
Like, is to go, hey, I quit.
I'm out. I'm out.
Press the off button. And it sucks for everybody around.
I was going to say, his only thought on that is, without being able to be in his situation and really understand it, my initial thought was, what a fucking dick bitch you are. You made 3 little humans.
Oh, yeah, kids, right?
Well,
that was kids? Or?
Well, I know I think there's one that's like in the 18 range, and he had a 10 and 11-year-old. Fuck you, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
fuck you, dude.
Yeah, right? Like, I understand the drugs, all of that, the depression, and I get it. That's terrible. But at the end of the day, fuck you, man. You made these little humans. Nobody else. You made them. You did that with the idea, and they're thinking you're going to be there. And you just fucking bounced out on them. And that type of shit is that's a bitch move.
Yeah.
And I understand. Like,
it's weird to me, too. You take the drugs out of the equation, right? The guy got to play music. He had a great voice. People tell you how great you are every day. I'm sure if he had a public email address, it's full of fucking women's underwear and people telling you how great you are. You got a family.
Underwear.
Like, that guy had every reason to be alive and have a way better life than a lot of other people. And I can't accept the fact that he just had some kind of chemical imbalance to where he was depressed. It's like, no, man. Unfortunately, that's the dangers and downside of prolonged drug use.
Yeah,
Like,
if he didn't have the kids or whatever, I would have been like sayonara.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with the kids, that kind of fucks me up a little bit. Like, bruh,
Me too.
10, 11 years old, fucking go to sleep, get up, fucking be a rock star and be there for your kids. Like that was a little. Obviously, I'm being a little crass about that.
And
but
look,
still.
if you can't, I don't know. Do you get to that level, though? And I don't know this, and I haven't read enough or cared to read enough. Maybe there's this, that level that they go to in addiction, and it doesn't matter. Like, there is no, even when you're clean, you're just like, you almost checked out. You're just a robot, kind of, and it's like so miserable to live.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's what, look,
I don't know.
At my different stints with the shrink, that's what the shrink tried to explain to me, that in that moment or when that's going on, they're only thinking about themselves, and they think it's better for them to be gone for you. They convince themselves of that, right? Oh, it's people would be better off without me because I'm so bad, and so that's, who knows. I don't know. I have yet to be at that point. And when it happens, I'll let you know if I'm here, if I'm around.
Yeah, I also think I look at old people all the time, and like, man, that shit ain't that great. So
yeah, but they still living it up.
yeah, it just sucks when people kill themselves. That like the people
Are just
around
amazing.
them.
Like he was still in. It's hard to believe it, but he was kind of in his prime still. He was still fronting
I'd say near
sound.
prime, but I mean, he was,
Well, you know
he was
what I
on
mean.
the downslide, but he was
Yeah,
still
but
there.
Still, you're
But I don't
fronting
think-
Soundgarden
And
and
a family, like, I don't
Yeah.
get it, man. He had money. He didn't have real problems.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's sad.
Well, we'll see. I guess maybe more will come out, but I just wanted to touch on that. But before we get out of here, I did want to talk about zombies eating sheep.
You did.
Yeah, I really did. So Zombies Eating Sheep, on any of the new listeners, is your band. And y'all played a show last
Band, a not real band that I'm not really in.
Yeah. So
confusing.
the last show y'all played was this past weekend, and it was the grand opening of like a beer place.
Yeah, the Royal Brewery.
How did that go?
It
Was
went
that
all right.
awful?
It could have been, but it wasn't.
I tell you what, like
I don't know why it wasn't, but it wasn't.
I'll
It
tell you
wasn't
this,
awful.
going into it, here was my perception of it. My
Yeah.
perception was it seemed like a little bit of a last minute thing. Like, I don't think you booked it
no, it didn't
far in
have-
advance.
You're correct.
And it was the opening of a brewery which was going to have like families and kids at it. And it didn't seem like the place for y'all. How did that go?
As far as what?
I
Narrow
don't know.
it down.
How
There's
was
a
your
lot-
feeling about it? How did the people did they like it? Was there anybody there? Did you enjoy it? It had to be a little weird to be playing when there's kids out there and stuff. I know how it is to be doing your thing and there's children
Yeah,
watching
you up there,
you.
my milkshake, and the little
Yeah,
kids like
right?
watching you gyrate.
So how did that go?
It could have been way worse. It wasn't that bad.
Really?
Yeah, I actually kind of had fun or
Huh.
enjoyed it. You know, I
How
look
many
at
people were there?
it. Fuck, I don't know. I didn't count.
50?
I would go plus 50.
Oh,
throughout
okay.
the-
Well,
throughout
so
the
there
thing.
was some people there, right? You know, did you
Yeah.
run people off or what did they?
I tried as much as possible, especially the children and anybody over 50. I
Yeah.
definitely like to get them the fuck out of there. My theory is this, though. If you don't have an audience, if we can't book a show at Southport in the main room and have the thing sell out, that means we got to get in front of people. We got to play
Oh
in front
yeah,
of people.
no, I'm not
We're
saying
at-
it was the wrong.
We're at that stage. So in that aspect, I would have wished we would have played in front of a couple of more people that didn't know us. It was refreshing and comforting to look out and see people we knew came and seen the show.
Yeah.
That was always really cool. Like, they have no idea how much that kind of means as an artist, especially getting on stage. When they say they use that word support somebody, like, that's true, because without them you fall.
They
Like,
actually are holding you up, which
And-
is it's a weird way to say it, but
oh, they are.
they are holding you up.
Emotionally, artistically, like
100%.
because people are not always gonna. You could be doing something really great. I'm not saying that we are, but you could be, as an artist, doing something really great, and just not that right percentage of the population hasn't seen it. They're too busy watching, fake beheadings.
yeah,
So it's kind of like you got to get yourself out there. So these are things that we're trying to do, and we got axed. It's amazing that when you get axed.
I was worried about it. I was a little worried about it just because I've played multiple of those gigs where
really bad.
You're there and you're like, whoa, this is not the right place, and we had 2 more hours to go. Right? Like
it was definitely way more work and effort than worth. But that's every fucking thing I do. Like, I'm kind of used to that. I'm like, that's the way it's going to be. You put forth a lot of effort. If you get anything in return from it, then just be thankful. Because in the end, I think we're all doing it because we have no choice. That's what we're addicted to, and that'll probably kill us. You know what I'm saying? And it's got to keep getting bigger, and we got to have it and better and more. So...
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that
it
was
the same type of addiction.
It went well because I had my doubts. You know, I didn't get to see it.
I had to go set up a screen on like a makeshift stage in a warehouse, and it was hot as fuck. Like, yeah. We talked about it on Not Real Radio pretty extensively, so I feel weird going into that whole thing again. But yeah, it was not all great. And you know me.
Yep.
Especially doing Not Real Radio, it would be smart just to sugarcoat and say how great everything was and everything is. But to me, that's not reality. It's not entertaining, so I don't. I think we're pretty honest about it, like brutally honest at points. But
oh, yeah, dude, trust me. I got at least half a dozen stories about Dirtiest Players of us showing up to play a place and me being like, this is not what we're supposed to be, and let's just get through this. And we're going to do what we do, but, man, we need to get through this. This is not our place.
The people were cool. They had a good staff over there, and the owner seemed like a nice guy, and they were comforting, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So that helped also. All the things you need to happen so that the rest of the experience is good happened.
Well, nice.
So it was kind of like, all right, this wasn't a waste, and it wasn't, in
all right,
vain.
So we're not closing up shop.
Allie did a really good job. Steve was good.
Did she? Nice.
We had Scotty and Davey on stage with Mayday and I, so that was cool to see the whole thing put together. And in that environment, I don't know why, doing it then, everything's set up against you, right?
Yeah.
It's hot. There's no air conditioning. They got 2 big garage. You're playing in the middle of garage on a rented PA that they just got for the weekend or whatever, on a stage they just built with 6 lights and a projector and a screen. And what can we do? What can we pull off in that environment?
Yeah.
And, man, looking at some of the pictures and seeing some of the video, I'm like, all right, well, fuck.
You did your thing.
That's what you could. Yeah, we tried to do a high-budget, like, pop show or anti-pop show
on low budget
or no budget.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think we do a really good job with that, and it's a good test of, man, when we do walk into a nice situation with more help, man, it's so much easier because you've been through when it was hard. Like, you appreciate it more. And it's like, hey,
I played shows where there is no stage. You're on the floor. You know what I mean? Like,
running every cable, setting up all the equipment, and then it's like, okay, now perform, and you're like, fuck, man. I mean, I finished setting up, and then we were performing within a cigarette break, and I'm up there to perform, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This guy, I don't know who this guy is. I'm the guy who sets this shit up. Like,
oh man, well that's
and then
good.
I put a mask on, cheese and jacket. That was pretty dumb.
You put on your mask. Yep.
I was watching one of these shitty, not shitty, but whatever. These bands that they like, kind of modern rock bands, and like, I don't know where it was, Voodoo or something. And the guys who wore the leather jackets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's not too smart. They have like leather pants and a leather jacket on stage. And I made fun of them, and now I regret it.
Yeah, you understand. It's like your thing is your thing.
I had a mask and a goddamn black coat on with lights. Not too smart.
Well, look, that's good.
Sweating.
That's good to hear, y'all.
You could feel it just pouring underneath the mask. Davey was dripping on his equipment. It was pretty amazing. Mayday was in a puddle by the end of it. It was intense.
I think this is what they call paying their dues. You're paying your dues, right? That's before you hit the big time.
Oh, yeah.
So the last thing I want to touch on is Paper Chase and Wildcat Wrestling.
Yeah, I'm excited about
June 24th, Shamrock, the X-rated show. We will be playing after Wildcat Wrestling performs at the Shamrock. The Sandman from ECW is going to be there. The guy that drank the beer and beat it over his head and bled. The original bleeder before he got to the ring.
Hey, he's not doing too good.
No, I think he's doing okay.
I watched some videos of him recently. Like, that poor guy's been through a lot.
Well, he beats himself over the head with
He's
cans.
not going to actually try to wrestle.
Man, I don't know what he's doing.
All right.
I'm trying to get an interview, though.
Good luck.
I'm going to interview him.
Yeah, you should.
You want to do that with me?
No.
Why not?
Because I've watched the interview. You ask questions and interview the guy, and then they cut you out of it completely. Like, what the fuck I'm going to do that for?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just
They
trying
didn't even put your name at the bottom.
I'm wondering if maybe I can get him on video hitting me with a kendo stick.
I hit you with a 2x4 if you want. Now. Hey-oh.
So anyway, that's going to happen on June 24th.
All right, don't you think it's conflict of interest, though? When
What's
I seen
that?
it, I'm like, oh, cool. And I'm like, wait, time out. This motherfucker's going to play a show at the competitors wrestling thing. Like, we got to call them competitors.
That
they
just
are.
goes to show you how in I am.
Yeah.
I'm the puppet master.
I mean, you kind of
I'm running the
You're
thing.
promoting the...
Yeah, why not?
You don't play WNCW shows? Why don't y'all set up and play after this?
I asked you and you said no.
Yeah, because I don't want that shit in there. Fucking good bands, man. Get some original
fuck.
artists.
Well, look, that's about all we got for this week. What you got coming up on Not Real Radio Sunday?
I don't know yet, man.
Oh, no guest?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Well, that's good. No
Yeah,
guest. You
it'll
know,
be
I like
interesting.
shows with no guest. This last week having old Tidbits on was good.
Yeah,
I
I like
always like
Steve.
when Tidbits is on there. He's funny. I
Always
he's a
solid.
good. I learned the term third mic guy this past week, and he's a good third mic guy. You
Oh,
know,
Steve?
which is right.
he's
So he's
incredible.
just sitting there ready to jab with.
You know what
funny
else,
things.
too, I'll say about Steve? I don't know if he's a good third mic guy. He's a good guy who can look at a situation, figure it out, and see where his position would be the most effective and best served, and he does it.
And you know what?
He
That's
doesn't
the
never
exact,
try to do somebody else's fucking
That's
job.
the
or worry
exact
about something.
definition of the third mic.
It is?
the third,
All right.
a third mic. Like, have you ever heard of the Opie and Anthony show?
I have.
Well, they had when Opie and Anthony were doing their show. They had a guy named Jim Norton on there.
Yeah, I know
he
Jim.
was the third mic guy, which means everything else was going on, and he just waited his moment, and he would just snipe every time he had a chance to.
And had something.
And that's what, right?
Yeah.
Like, I only say maybe 5 things an hour, but each thing is we hit you with it, and it's funny or entertaining or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's perfect for that. He really is.
How'd you like Scotty's song? Didn't hear it.
I don't know.
Forgot the fucking guitar.
I don't know who Scotty is. I guess I can't comment on that. I don't know.
Alright.
But all right, well, we'll all be tuning in to Not Real Radio this Sunday, 8 o'clock. And until next time, this has been Wine and Cheese. We'll talk to you then.